Hello, loves. So I recently had a very love-filled, beautiful Valentine's Day, and I mostly spent it with friends or alone. And I was recently talking to a friend about this experience, just kind of casually just talking about my weekend. And she asked me if I was going to share it on some platform or talk about this somewhere because it was kind of a unique experience. And yeah, not a typical way that most people spend Valentine's Day. And so I wanted to talk about it a little bit because it just kind of unfolded this way, and it ended up being like the perfect experience for me. So I'll share it with y'all, and perhaps there are some things that are happening in your area or in your life that you could do, some things that are similar to this that might bring some more love or some more joy into your life. Or perhaps if you're in the Chicagoland area, you could reach out to me and see if maybe we could do something fun next Valentine's Day. All right, so on Friday night, I started off by going to a friend's concert, or not, I guess it's not a concert, it's a show called Mortified. And my friend Mary Z is one of the producers on that show, and she's just really amazing. I've always been impressed by every show of hers that I've attended, so it was a big yes to attending this show. And I really was excited about the show because my friend Julia was going to be in the show. Julia King was recently in this show, which was very cool, and this show is an amazing experience. So basically they have people to grab a journal entry or several journal entries from when they were young, usually high school or perhaps some middle school journal entries, and people get to share those journals. Also, they get the opportunity to perhaps share some photos from when they were kids and contextualize it all for us so we kind of know what we're listening to. And then they get to share their reflections, some of the things that they learned as a result of the experiences that they had. And to me, watching it, it looked like it was really healing. All of the people shared without stressing too much. While they knew that some of the things that they said and did were kind of quirky or perhaps embarrassing at the time, that they were able to get to a place of accepting themselves, and by the end were happy with who they are on this planet, and accepting of the fact that they had to grow and learn in this way. And that to me is the epitome of self-acceptance, and as a result, self-love. Wow. So it was beautiful for me to witness all of this self-love and beauty on the stage. And I chose, before going there, to write my friend Julia a little love note as well, just to thank her for sharing their experiences and being the authentic, beautiful person that she is. And so that was really wonderful, and I got to share that experience with about 24 friends who were there to support her as well. And so I was really, really grateful for that, and also not surprised that so many people showed up for such a dynamic, beautiful, fun person. And the show definitely met and exceeded my expectations in terms of it being such a loving, supportive, funny, wow, just incredible environment. Everything was so well thought out and so perfect and intentional, and I left being just filled with love and grateful for the opportunity to spend my Valentine's Day in that particular venue. And my partner was at home at the time. He wasn't able to get a ticket, but yeah, so it was interesting to do that just with friends. I really, really liked that, enjoyed that, and it felt great. It was a plan I made a while ago, and so yeah, I just went with friends, and it was perfect. It was perfect. The next morning, I got to wake up next to my partner, which was nice, and then I just spent the day doing some prep work for an event that I had coming up called Love It Forward. I got to facilitate a little bit at this event called Love It Forward, and yeah, this event happened that night, Saturday night, and it was amazing. Like, it's an annual event. It happens down at the Emerald Palace, and all the people are really warm who go to these events. I have only encountered folks who give incredible hugs and who are comfortable with some eye contact and who like affirming folks. It felt really, really good to be in an environment filled with these loving, beautiful beings. I feel like I never meet a stranger there, ever. Like, all the people, the second you meet people, they are wanting to greet you with a hug. They are wanting to know what is genuinely showing up for you, what genuinely is on your heart. And being able to spend the Saturday after, or the day after Valentine's Day with these folks was such a gift. And I got to bring my partner to this event, so that was really cool. Being able to share that with him, or I should say one of my partners. I'm polyamorous, so like all about lots of love. Yeah, so that was really, really great that we got to experience this love together, this joy together, be embraced by all of it and all these wonderful people. Was just, again, such a gift. I'm going to use that word a lot because it's so applicable. So we did that, and there were a lot of different activities, wonderful healers of all different types. There were also burlesque performers who encouraged us to honor our bodies, to accept our bodies, to love our bodies exactly as they are, knowing there's not only one way to be beautiful, only one body that is the ideal body, but instead that we all get to have these different types of bodies and appreciate them, shape them, enjoy them, dance with them. That was really, really cool to have that activity, to see her dance burlesque, and then also have her invite us to do some booty shaking and some jiggling ourselves as well, to really, like, yeah, just love and accept ourselves and know that we were all doing it, so we didn't have to worry about who was watching us, that we got to just be with what we were doing. So that was really cool and loving. And the thing also that stood out to me the most, or not also, but the thing that stood out to me the most at this event was like this, basically a love tunnel that we formed. So during the event, there was a person who did an activity on the 5 love languages. And this activity was specifically for words of affirmation. And she had us to basically form a tunnel out of people. We had 10 people on each side, and there was an opening like a little bit wider than the average person, and we would have one person at a time stand at the front of that opening or at the beginning of the tunnel and close their eyes, and then slowly walk through the tunnel as the people on the sides of the tunnel whispered sweet little affirmations to them. So whispered sweet little things about how wonderful they are, about how they've impacted their life, about how beautiful their spirit is, about how they're a great hugger. You know, they varied depending on whether or not the people knew each other prior, etc. But they were all really like just nice, sweet compliments or comments about the person. And I greatly appreciated that. Like, that lifted my spirits in a way that I couldn't even imagine. For me, that was so much more filling, so much more fueling and wonderful than like sharing like your typical like go out, have like a nice dinner with your partner type of thing. And like, granted, I do love dinner with my partner and that type of thing, but this was sweet and special in a unique way, and I like that it was connected to community. Also, it was great to share that experience with my partner, for us both to be able to share, like, you know, what we walked away with, and to have like a workshop that we both participated in later that we could kind of process together, that we got to have these different tools and skills around love and like promoting love that we could take to the next level with each other was really great. And then we could also like share with our friends too, was cool. And the next morning, right, so much love. So the next morning was Sunday, and I was able to spend that facilitating a boundaries boot camp with this really, really lovely person. And I loved doing that. This boundaries boot camp is centered around like forming more powerful, stronger boundaries and being able to really hold them so that we can know more power in our lives. And we definitely did that. And it was fun because it was the last one for us to like celebrate the things that she'd accomplished, to celebrate the work that she'd done, to celebrate this place where she was able to stand in her truth, stand steeped in love for herself and honoring for herself, that allowed her to share her boundaries in the world in a new way. And one of the invitations that I had for her was to write 2 love letters to herself, to her future self, like reminding her of the love, of the beauty, of the power that she was feeling in that moment, so that she could feel more empowered as she continued along her journey of creating these strong, badass boundaries. So that felt really, really good to be able to share that experience with her. And I had her to share those on some little Valentine's Day cards that were made by a local photographer who just has really, really great work. Mike McCauley, who is also like a dear friend. But yeah, so these cards were really special. One of them right back here. This one's actually my favorite of the set. They're all really different and unique. And I like that with the cards, with most of them, you can't tell a gender. Actually, I don't think you can tell a gender with any of them now that I think about it. And you are sex, and you can't tell the race of the people in most of the cards. It's just like they could be anybody, anywhere, you know? And so for me, that makes them much more relatable. I like that a lot. Some of them don't even have people in them, which I think is also really cool. They could be any sexual orientation if they do have people in them, like the one I just showed you. Like, yeah, so I love that. And I loved being able to share that with someone else and have them to use those cards to share some self-love, to express some love to their future self, you know? So that was a really, really cool experience. And another thing that I did in the Boundaries Boot Camp was that I led us through a meditation on love. Imagining love, as many of us have done in meditation, but love just like flowing in and flowing out into the universe, and like taking more love in, knowing that this love is infinite. So just focusing on the infinite nature of love itself was a really beautiful, wonderful way to spend the end of my Valentine's Day weekend. And my Valentine's Day weekend did not end there. Last but not least, I almost immediately got picked up at the end of that and went down to Peggy something, I forget the full name of it, the Peggy something museum, where the butterflies are in Lincoln Park, that place. So yeah, we went there, and I went there with a couple of friends in the car, and then we met one other friend there. And like the friend who was kind enough to pick me up, she mentioned that we can see like each experience as kind of a trip, and so she was saying that she saw us as taking a road trip together, even though we were like starting in Chicago and ending in Chicago and like never leaving Chicago the whole way. She saw it as a local road trip, which was a cute mindset, like a kind of a cool way of examining the experience. And so she loves road trips. So she was bringing more love to this experience of shuttling us around, you know, something that people in a lot of places might see as a hassle, as a task, as a have to. She decided to voluntarily invite this experience of more love, of more joy into her world. And I love that. And we met up again with my friend down in Lincoln Park. And when we got there, like, we were greeted with like lovely warm hugs, and we let those hugs linger. We also, in some cases, let our hands drop down so we could hold hands as well, and just experience this sweet platonic affection that is far too rare, in my opinion, in the world, and that doesn't have to be like only occurring in romantic relationships. Like, these sweet, sweet moments can occur when we are in platonic relationships as well. Why not, you know? So we got to greet each other, and then we went up and we got to see the beautiful, wonderful butterflies. It felt amazing to see the release of the new butterflies, the butterflies who never flown out free before, and who were just like newly out of their chrysali, I don't know, but yeah, who just newly been birthed or reborn in a way. So yeah, so I was really, really excited to see that, to experience that with these friends, to enjoy the beautiful colors, to anticipate the adventures that were going to unfold for these magnificent butterflies, and to feel into the symbolism of this rebirth, being reminded that in each and every moment we get to begin again. So I was just in love with that, in love with my beautiful, wonderful friends in all the best platonic ways, and grateful for the overall experience. And what I hope to do is to bring this experience of love, of light, of joy into each of my events more so in the future, so that I can encourage more love, encourage more light, encourage more joy, you know, and move from this place of love instead of this place of fear in everything that I do. That's important to me. That's what I'm committed to, and that's what I'm continuously growing into. And I hope that you will join me in that. I also really hope that you'll comment down below if you were part of any of those experiences, if you would like to know more about any of them, or if you would really like to share some of the experiences that you had. How did you spend your Valentine's Day? How do you show yourself a little bit of love? How do you honor the being that's within you? And how do you connect with your friends and loved ones around you? All right. I love you bunches. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, love-filled day. Bye.